Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
Samuel L. Clemens, known as Mark Twain, is as beloved a figure today as he was during his lifetime. His life spans 75 years, from his birth in Missouri in 1835 to his death in Connecticut in 1910.
I've been a long time Long Island filmmaker, mostly films on Long Island subjects. Levittown, Franklin Square, I've done documentaries about. I did some filming on the Hempstead Plains, so I did like a history of the Hempstead Plains, believe it or not. There was a book by Karen Lystra that I optioned called Dangerous Intimacy, The Untold Story of Mark Twain's Final Years. And Karen's book was beautiful. It was well researched, it was beautifully done. And I basically set about trying to make a documentary duplicating her research, interviewing her, interviewing other experts like Bob Slotta, different Twain experts from around the country. The final years of his life are uniquely interesting. And Ken Burns, in his documentary on PBS, doesn't go into much depth on the final years at all. And there's a lot that can be told about the secretaries I've related, and it's about the daughter, Jean, who had epilepsy, who returned home to live with Twain in his final years. Twain lost his spouse, who he adored, and a secretary came on board named Isabel Lyon. And she wanted to marry him himself, but although he was intrigued by her, he didn't want to get married, and he fell under the spell of Isabel Lyon, however, and as well as an accomplice named Ralph Ashcroft. And when Twain wouldn't marry Isabel, Isabel and Ralph conspired to take over Twain's estate. In character, he may have been lacking a little bit. He went bankrupt in his earlier part of his life, repaid the money. In the last years that we're talking about, he fell under the spell of a secretary. So great men have great faults, and that's the story we tell. I used Long Island production people, including my editor. The actors and voiceover artists were all from Long Island. And we used, there was a Long Island location. We used the Glen Cove Country Club for Mark Twain's house. So there was a lot of Long Island elements that were used during the production.
Many people today work by themselves when they edit. I love the dynamics of working with a 2 or 3 person collaboration in the edit room. I enjoy it. It helps you validate some of your ideas and thoughts, and it opens the director's eyes to some new ideas, and then all of a sudden it spurs me to come up with maybe a new idea or some type of technique on telling the story. In my mind, I wanted to use more of the dramatization, and Rich at times backed me off because he saw the nuances in the dramatization that really wouldn't have been authentic. That's the difference, because that's the great thing about collaborating with 2 people. I'm also looking at the visuals, which I might see that might work, but then he looks at the visuals from the story point of view. The storytelling, is it accurate, especially with a documentary? So at some points we backed away. There's some footage that we did not use because it wasn't authentic enough to Twain's image.
I like to dramatize whenever possible, not overdoing it though. The dramatizations bring Twain to life in a way that can't be brought to life in a photograph. And if you have a good actor portraying him, you can. Lear Leary, who plays Twain, conveys Twain's essence pretty well, as well as the photographs do. But I do like to blend photographs, archival footage, the Edison short silent film footage, as well as dramatizations in a coherent whole. What we don't have, and what we'd love to have, is record of Mark Twain's voice, because he was a very well-known speaker. He was a great speaker all his life, and at one point he did record. He used these little circular, those recording devices, a dictaphone,
right,
to do some of his autobiography, but he didn't like it. He didn't like the sound of his voice, and he threw them out. If we could have that would be wonderful.